Hey, welcome back to Rational Funk. We're here, man, in the basement. New location, right, Joe? We're happy to be able to continue the show for a couple more episodes. I think we're going to try for, a couple more, right? Who knows what order these will be shot in, so I shouldn't say that, but who knows, right? That's the mystery of things. Look at this. Do you have your drum set up in your basement like I do? Sometimes that involves an industrial appliance or two. This is the old water softener. And we thought, well, who is this water softener? What's his personality? Right? Right, Joe?
Right.
Joe? Mm-hmm. And so, well, look at this. We decided he was just a regular man. We decided that. He just had that sort of like regular man. You know what I mean? He just sort of looked like the regular guy walking around the grocery store, right? So we put a nice cardigan on him and a bow tie and this nice hat. Is that a pork pie hat, Joe?
I think so.
And so if you have an appliance near you, you're by your furnace, you're by your water softener, or spruce it up. You got to create an environment for yourself to create in. And, that's why we give him the old... I'll play him every now and again. Have you noticed that, Joe? Where I'll have this presence of the water softener near me. You've sat here for hours listening to me just play. Where I'm working on a groove. Let's say I'm working on a groove to Spin Doctors. Two Princes, right? Princes like to get the pills, and they go ahead now. They just start to talk for hours, and it's almost like wake up over there. You know, I pretend that my water softener isn't a Spin Doctors fan, which seems unimaginable, but it's like. Maybe this old water softener isn't into the Spin Doctors like you and I are, Joe. Right? Princes like to talk for hours. Just give it no hour. I rushed that a little bit. Oh, his bow tie! Welcome back to Rational Funk, where this episode has begun haphazardly and whimsically, not really having a direction. Now we have a direction. We're talking about Spin Doctors, okay? Like two Princes, okay? A little jam from the 90s. Go take it. Sometimes you got to go look, right, Joe? We access the past to kind of like determine the roads of the future. So you go back there and you're like, the Spin Doctors. I remember that band. There's guys with like, they had that scat solo in that too. And it got me thinking, like, a great way to practice phrasing and reacting to phrases is create your own phrases. Create your own saxophone phrasing. Sing it. Sing a solo along with some sort of groove. And I always go to the Spin Doctors' Two Princes because he goes, and then I also started listening to the lyrics of that tune. Remember we were getting way back, like you and I were like, what about the Spin Doctors? That drummer was good, right? And then the Spin Doctors, there was like Blues Traveler. We had like, Blues Traveler had that river dance time feel, man. You remember that? Blues River was like, and on the side, and he's playing the harmonica, but he didn't play chromatic harp. So he had the vest with all the different pentatonic key harmonicas. Can you dig? So it's not like Toots Thielman or somebody where they're like dealing with the chromatic. Cats were playing bebop on the harmonica. My man from Blues Traveler was like, nah, what key is this in? Well, it's in A. No problem. Slots it out. Looks like almost like a Chewbacca crossbow vest. Or almost like he actually almost looked like a hunting vest, right? And he had slots for the harmonicas. I'd never seen that before. Had you?
No.
But he's like, what was their song? What was the Blues Travelers songs where he would all of a sudden take the 25-minute harmonica solo? Right. He goes into that verse. Yeah. Heart brings you back. But didn't he have a voice? And then suddenly, all of a sudden he had the verse. And if I were them, I'd have had the river dance guys come in, and they're like, and then I would have the Lucky Charms elf come in, or whatever he was Lucky Charms guy. He was a leprechaun. And then he comes in, and the whole thing turns into this huge jig, an Irish jig, and everything. And then he also said, "You're not getting me Lucky Charms, you're not getting me Lucky Charms." And he launches into one of those solos. And then it always sounded like his phrasing was like the end of Looney Tunes. I bet you if you asked him if his big influence was Thank you guys, thanks man. Live from the Irving Plaza, it's Blues Traveler. Kick that next tune. I like this. Back to Spin Doctors, because we're just thinking about some other music. I was like, man, why I always got to be checking out the stuff that, like, oh man, all this heavy music that you like, or Spin Doctors is fine, heavy music as well. But why are you always like, as an artist, are you not just like, I gotta check in with a certain scene? And there was this sort of like early '90s Counting Crows and what is that? Mr. Jones and Me, that Van Morrison ripoff sounding tune. And maybe they all kind of come from this Van Morrison thing. I don't know. I don't know enough about Van Morrison. I do like that a lot of people were like, what's the Van Morrison tune where people were like, that's jazzy. And then people were like, Van Morrison, it's a marvelous time for a pill bath and in October skies. It's a marvelous time to drink, to have a romance and drink a nice port from Byerly's. You can buy a port for under $12. It'll last you a couple weeks. Cheap port tastes like cough syrup from 1970. It's a bad steps and then drinking our cocaine. Have you ever tried to drink cocaine? It's weird. It feels weird. And I would love to drink some cocaine with you, my love. And I would dance. This is the oddest episode of Rational Funk ever. But checking out music we haven't checked out very much before, have we, Joe? And it might sound like, oh, Joe and Dave are fucking around with like Van Morrison. Don't fuck with Van Morrison. We're gonna get another, we're gonna get a letter. I love the letter. I love every now and again when I, actually it's my children that will typically point out a YouTube comment to me. You typically don't, but we love the positive reinforcement. Every now and again you get somebody speaking quite negatively about, and then of course that's one that my son or daughter will lock in on and be like, and of course they say it. I don't say this. I let everybody have their opinions, Joe, of me and you. You are to blame as well for this show, just so you know. If you're all going to be directing it all at me, you must know the power of the man that is standing behind this camera. He has a great power over me and many that get caught in his web. Most of the time it's quite charming. But sometimes you can be like, really, Joe, should I say that? And Joe says, yes, Dave. So, sometimes it's just like, Dave King, that fucking asshole. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And of course, it's wonderful when my 15-year-old son says. So I just want to let you know, if you're thinking about putting a negative comment out there, it hurts my son's feelings, okay? And he cries himself to sleep at night when you don't like me. Because, it's really important as an artist to care very deeply about what everyone thinks about you. In fact, you will not go very far as a creative person if you are not pleasing everyone. Okay? That's actually rule number 1. Rule number 2 is, Princess, like to talk for hours.